So with the U.S. Constitution, you're going to actually need this all quarter long. I like this copy of the U.S. Constitution because it is outline form, and the U.S. Constitution is actually like an address. So if I told you to go to Article 2, U.S. Constitution Article 1, Section 3, Paragraph 2, it's already outlined for you. So it's just like an address, and you can find out where you're supposed to be or where the answers are. So, and there's even clauses within it. So Section 2, Clause 2, that's actually, instead of Paragraph 2, it's Clause 2, Clause 3, Clause 4. So if you guys want to, go ahead and I'm going to open in a new window so I can have access to that while I help you guys with the lesson for today. The other thing I would do is, if you have a way to download it or save it to your Google Drive, even better, because you will need this document throughout the entire quarter. And some would say throughout your entire life, because the U.S. Constitution is extremely important. So let's go over the agenda of the day. And see if it works. Did it work? It did not work. That's frustrating. All right. Can you guys see this? Yeah? So there's no homework. I do want to spend a minute to go over the student feedback. So how are the responsibilities or chores, things like that, things you do around the house, divided up in your house? Are any of the chores shared? So guys, I'm going to give you about a minute to either answer in the chat or unmute yourself and verbally share. And then I'll give you about 20 minutes to finish part 2 of lesson A, review the division of powers, and then we're going to start on lesson B. So go ahead, take a minute for the question of the day. I think you guys have a good idea of what part 2 of lesson A will be about. So if we look at the lesson A, again, it keeps kicking me off. You guys should have part 1 done. And now we're going to work on part 2. So with that, you guys are going to need the, I'm going to have to end up, yep. See how annoying it is? I'll just do this. So guys, you are going to need to scroll down to January 7th, and you're going to need this one, and I'll put this in the chat. And then you'll need the concurrent powers one. This is a chart that actually specifically says powers of national government, concurrent powers, and powers reserved for the states. So I like that one. And then this one also is a good resource. And if you scroll down through it, it kind of goes over the differences in what is enumerated powers, what are reserved powers, concurrent powers, and so yeah, guys, these are some good resources here, and you get them all from January 7th, because this was part of Lesson A. So go ahead and start part 2, do the reading, and then the instructions, give a description of each term, and then specific examples. You need to have 3 examples of their power, and then checking for understanding. These 3, concurrent, reserved, and enumerated, one is A, one is B, and one is C. You have to figure that out. So guys, 20 minutes for part 2. Questions? Okay, I'm going to give you the 20 minutes, and then if you have a question, holler at me, or you can always come and join me in Google Meets Hall. I'm going to start checking for your completed work and start showing you some student samples. Some students yesterday felt like this checking for understanding box was too crammed at the bottom because they wrote a lot for the graphic organizer. You can always copy and paste this checking for understanding onto a new page, page 4. But I'll give you guys a few minutes to finish up this checking for understanding, and I'm going to check some of your guys' work and start pulling up student samples, okay? Okay, so I like how she organized I'm a bullet point fan, but her organization in the boxes work totally fine too. So enumerated powers granted to the federal government, such as declaring war. Implied powers, it's not specifically listed. So, for example, an implied power might be of me being a mom. I might say, hey, Mac, I'm not cooking tonight. You need to make yourself dinner. Yes, I tell my 9-year-old, you're responsible for your own dinner. And that's implied power. He can make mac and cheese. He can make ramen noodles. He can make a PB&J. Whereas if I said, hey, Mac, I will cook sausages, but you need to be the one to heat up the rice. That's specific. So implied means that it's not specific. Inherent powers, powers that Congress and the president need to order to get the job done. Again, it's not necessarily specific, but for example, territory, there is Congress can acquire new territory. That is in there. That is specific. But how they acquire it, that's the inherent power piece. So we've got the who and the what. We just don't have the how are we going to get the job done. That's the inherent power. Reserved power. Guys, this is why Maria's getting happy face. 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment is not, the reserved powers are not in Article 1. They're actually the 10th Amendment, okay? And then concurrent powers, it means the same. So, for example, shared powers could be like roads, because you have roads that connect, but you also have roads here in each city, in each state. Making laws to support the environment. That's why you have federal parks, state parks, county parks, things like that. So this is good. Who has the power to maintain an army? That's enumerated. Who has the power to regulate marriage and family law? Reserved. And then who has the power to pass a curfew law? Concurrent. Guys, with the curfew laws, the president of the United States can administer an executive order. to require the entire country to have a curfew. Congress could pass a law that says the entire country can have a curfew. The state, Governor Doug Ducey, in June, had a statewide curfew law. The city of Surprise, the mayor could require curfew. So this was good. This was good. Some of you guys still need another minute, and I don't mind giving you that minute. Hey guys, I still have quite a few people that need to turn theirs in. Let's go ahead and transition to lesson B. Because lesson B, we're just going to do parts 1 and 2. We're going to stop at part 3. So then I at least want to explain what we're doing. There's still a lot of people not done. Okay, so then let me show you those of you that are done. So let's say, Mrs. Hall, I am done. What do I do? Let me do this. Oh, I've been talking this whole time. Funny. All right, so guys, here's what we're gonna do. Let's say you're like, Mrs. Hall, what do I do when I'm done? Because not everybody is done. Some people, I still have half the students still working, so I don't want to move on until I have more people done. So if you're that part where you're like, Mrs. Hall, what do I do when I'm done? Go ahead and open up this. This is lesson B. And it looks like this. You will need the U.S. Constitution. But what you can do right now without me, because I still want to give people time that are not done with lesson A, is if you scroll down, I want you guys to read this article, read the article, and write a 4 to 6 sentence summary of the impeachment clause. So if you're like, Mrs. Hall, what do I do? What do I do when I am done? You can go ahead and do the summary. Those of you that are not done, I'll give you about another 5 more minutes to finish lesson A. So you're doing one of two things. Mrs. Hall, what do I do when I'm done? Open up lesson B, and you can do this impeachment clause article and summary without me. If you're not done, I'll give you about 5 more minutes for lesson A. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer now for another 5 minutes. Okay, go. Let me change this out. You will need that copy of the U.S. Constitution. So go ahead and open that up. It is right here. So go ahead and open that up. And remember what I did was I put a copy of it, opened it. So, and if you want to download it, you want to save it, you will need access to this the whole entire time. So if we go back to the agenda for today, and let's look at the standards. Remember the unit standard, explain and analyze the functions and structures of government at the national level. We are focusing on the legislative branch. And then the substandard, examine how the Constitution establishes a system of government with powers, responsibilities, and limits. Guys, there's lots of learning targets that we're going to go over today and next class period. Describe the structure of the U.S. Congress and explain their role. Describe the powers of the legislative branch explained in the U.S. Constitution. Explain and analyze the structure and function of government by discovering details about the size of each house, the term limits of each house, and the number of members guaranteed to each house. Analyze a map of congressional apportionment to discover how states gain or lose seats in the House, and then explain and analyze how the census affects representation in the House. The whole unit essential question, what are the powers to the legislative branch given to Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution? And this is what we will be working on, is lesson B. So go ahead and open it up. Nope, wrong lesson, Shauna. And I will do part 1 for you. Okay, so instructions. As you read section 1 of the U.S. Constitution, fill out the information. Okay, so, all right, so first part is preamble. We've done the preamble before. That was lesson A. So we don't have to worry about the preamble. Now let's go to Article 1, Legislative Branch, Section 1. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. So then I'll go here. Congress shall consist of Senate and House of Representatives. Boom, I'm done. So I'll give you guys a minute. So we're already done with part 1. So guys, what Spencer just put in, every 2 years, the House of Representatives are chosen by the people. I would copy that. And that's what I have on my student sample. Every member should be chosen every 2nd year by the, actually, I like yours a lot better. I'm even going to take yours from mine example. So I'm just going to copy, student sample, paste. So yeah, that's good. All right, so now take a minute. So thank you, Spencer. Jaden, Logan, and Stein. So Article 1, Section 2. No person shall be a representative who shall not have attained the age of 25 years old and been 7 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state in which he shall be chosen. So, Jaden, Logan, and Stein. Yep, good job, Stein. So I have that for the first one, must be at least 25 years old. All right, who's got the next one? You have to be a U.S. citizen. Perfect. So let's go that one. Must be a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years. You don't have to be born on U.S. soil, but you do have to be a citizen for at least 7 years. Good. And then it looks like, Logan, that leaves you with the last one. So Logan, what say you for the last piece? We're on C now. I will show you, yes, so you have to be in the state where they choose. The person has to be an inhabitant of that state in which they should be chosen. So, for example, when like the Debbie Lesko is our representative from this district, she can't live up in Flagstaff. She has to have a home here in Surprise or District, what are we, District 8, District 9? One of those. So she has to live here in this district. Okay, so guys, let's move on to the next one. How are Indians and slaves to be counted when determining the number of congressional districts per state? Let's have Raven, and then Christian, you are still having some internet trouble, and I don't know if you were able to get caught up. So let's have Ty, you'll do this one. So go ahead and read. This one's rather lengthy, but part A is here, part B is here. Part C, I didn't make you do because it just gives you how many representatives were in the states as of 1791. And so this bottom part, really this whole part, B is the only one that still exists. A doesn't exist, B yes, C no, because we have more than 13 states now. So Raven and Ty, you guys will do 3. So how are Indians and slaves? And guys, it's American Indian, technically to be politically correct. But the U.S. Constitution, when it was written, was not politically correct. Native Americans were not counted at all or seen as citizens. Slaves were counted as 3/5 of a person. So thank you, Raven. Ty, do you have your? Yes. So each state shall have 1 representative. You were even more specific than me. It was 1 for every 30,000. So when you look at states like Alaska, Wyoming, North Dakota, all these small populated states, they only have 1. Okay. So now let's do the next. Thank you, guys. So now do paragraph 4. Let's have Emma, if you can do paragraph 4, and then Kayla and Cameron, and then we'll finish Article 1, Section 2. So yeah, we're almost done. I'm going to tweak yours, Emma. You are 100% correct. Whenever there's a vacancy spot for example, I don't want anything to happen to Debbie Lesko, but if Debbie Lesko steps down or, she gets in a car accident and she can't fulfill her position, who is the executive authority over our state of Arizona? Because when it talks about executive authority, who is that for the state? Anybody know? Don't make me start doing my randomly calling on people. Okay, randomly calling on people. Vernon, who is the executive authority over the state of Arizona currently right now? Do you know?
What did you say this all?
Who is the current authority over the state of Arizona right now?
Isn't it the lady? Didn't she just win?
Nope, it's not the lady.
Oh, it's the Kelly dude.
It's not the Kelly dude. He's a senator. Who is it?
I don't know.
Okay, phone a friend.
Is it Doug Tucci?
It is Governor Doug Ducey. Yes. So guys, I'm going to be a little bit more specific to what Emma's answer was. When there's a vacancy in the House, the state's governor, that's who the executive authority is. I'm not from the South. Is. And so it's the governor of the state. When it talks about the authority, the executive authority over that state, it's the governor. And so, for example, I know this isn't the representative, but when Senator John McCain passed away, Governor Ducey got to pick who will replace and finish up McCain's Senate seat. So that's what it means by it's the state's governor, and that's writ of election. And we're actually going to go over writ. That's not misspelled. Don't be like, Miss Hall, you just misspelled it. That is Latin for a legal document. So the state's governor has to fill out a legal document to say that this person will, since the seat is open because of an emergency or a passing or they step down, resigned, the governor gets picked. Okay, so Kayla and Cameron, how are you guys doing with your section? So if we go to the House of Representatives shall choose their speaker and other officers and shall have the sole power of impeachment. So yes. So yes, no, you guys are totally right. Yeah. House of Representatives will choose or vote for the Speaker of the House and other officers, and then the sole power of impeachment. And so here's where some of you guys might already be done. The impeachment clause. Go ahead and open this up. And this is kind of like cliff notes or kind of like annotations that you have with your English teachers. And so go ahead and read Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5. You guys just did this. The House of Representatives shall choose their speaker and other officers and shall have the sole power of impeachment. So go ahead and read this and then write a 4 to 6 sentence summary over it. Now, here's what's going to happen. Some of you guys might be done. Guys, we are going to leave part 3 and the vocabulary to review for the next class period. So you won't, so let's not rush. We've got 30 minutes left in class. So let's go ahead and use that 30 minutes for the impeachment clause. If you are done with the impeachment clause, I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes for the impeachment clause, and then I'm going to start calling on people that can be dismissed for the day. I'll put up the ticket out. So I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes for this. Read the article and write 4 to 6 sentences. And I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to start reading off names of people that can be dismissed from class. Okay, so 10 minutes. Okay, so guys, a few things. I'm going to start calling off people's names that I have everything I need for their lesson A to grade. If I don't call your name, please stay on. The other thing is just make sure you have that summary of the impeachment clause done by the next class period. And then here's your ticket out. Choose one question answer for your ticket out. What would you name your boat if you had one? I like seize the day because it's carpe diem, seize the day, except this is seize the day. I thought that was cute. Another one that I saw, their boat was named Zombies Can't Swim. I thought that was kind of funny. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Some were naughty, and I will not share the naughty ones. And then B, if you could be invisible for one day only, what would you do? I don't know. I actually would find that kind of creepy. Plus, to truly be invisible, you are invisible, but you'd have to walk around naked all day, and I'm uncomfortable with that. So I will not pick B, and I will not share B, and I don't even want to think about B. But some people actually wouldn't mind the power to be invisible. C, which snack item or food would you never get tired of eating? Saltine crackers. Yes, I love saltine crackers. They go good with peanut butter. They go good by themselves. I prefer the salted ones, not the unsalted ones. I love saltine crackers. So let me start.